This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Nick George.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of marriage counseling in Fort Collins and the surrounding areas? One excellent option might be closer than you think. Today, I have the great pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Dr. Tasha Sater. Doctor, how's it going?
It's going good. Yeah, thank you so much for having me here.
Tell us. I was going to say all the little things after your title there, but then I knew it was a tongue twister, so I just stopped. Tell us all about what you do.
Well, I do a lot of things. So I'm a couples counselor. It's my passion, is helping people on their relationships. And I own a group practice where we focus on relationship therapy here in Fort Collins. So we've got a brick and mortar location right over on Harmony or near Harmony in college. And we work on helping people build stronger bonds and work through trust and feel closer.
How did you get into the business of bringing people back together?
Such a good question. I was always so interested in psychology. It has always just been my passion. I'm an identical twin. And when I was 15, my grandpa gave me this book about twins and the nature versus nurture debate. So I read that book. It's such an interesting topic. All these twins, especially from this one adoption agency in Minnesota, they were born together, but they were reared apart at this adoption agency. They thought that raising twins together was bad for them. And so they separated them. But then there were all these twins that never knew that they had a twin brother, twin sister, and met their twin as an adult. And they were describing in this book all these like uncanny differences or similarities and little differences, but uncanny similarities that they had with their twin that they had never been around or met before. And so I read that book, and that made me realize I want to study psychology. This is what I'm so interested in. And I wanted to learn how to help people. I've always thought relationships were so fascinating. Like, they're so interesting, how people interact, and learned a little bit about John Gottman, who is this researcher who studies healthy communication. And he studied newlyweds, and he saw what were these communication techniques that predicted happy and healthy marriages years and years later. So I read about that when I was really young, and I was just like, this is my life mission. This is what I want to learn about. This is what I want to help people with. So that's kind of how I got into business and started my private practice 5 years ago, and just expanded into group practice 2.5 years ago. And that's been fun. It's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of fun, though.
What are some myths and misconceptions in your industry?
I think one would be that in order to come to marriage counseling, you should need it. You should be really suffering, or you should wait until you're really suffering. And actually, the research says that the average couple waits 6 to 7 years of struggling in their relationship before they seek any kind of treatment. So that's definitely a big myth, is that going to therapy means that you are on the brink of divorce. Like, I have people ask me that all the time. They say, like, well, does that really work? Aren't people, when they come to you, like, past the point of repair, aren't they just like waiting to see if they can get divorced? And it's always so interesting to me that that's a lot of people, the way that they see couples therapy, because that has not been even close to my experience. Not even close. Like, the couples that come in, they get better. Their relationship gets a lot better. That being said, of course, there's going to be exceptions. Some people come when it's too late and their pattern's way too ingrained, and they really are kind of just checking off a box, and they're headed towards divorce and splitting up, and that's the best thing for them. But that's more the exception. So I think that's a huge misconception is they always ask me that, like, does it really work? Are people just like, isn't it too late? All of that. So, but that being said, people should come early. They should come when they realize, hey, I think we're having trouble. We're kind of going round and round. I think we should go talk to somebody before it gets super ingrained so that you can learn those communication skills like as soon as possible.
We know that that marketing is the heart of any practice or business. So who or when is your target market, I guess, when marriage? I mean, you just said, I guess, maybe you answered that question. You're targeting people before it gets that bad. Is there any other type of area that you're trying to target mainly? Do you do it online? How are you trying to reach out to your customers now digitally?
Yeah, so many different ways. Most of the time people find us because they're searching. They're searching, they're getting to a place where they've realized, and especially after COVID, I think that's one positive thing about COVID is that it really did relieve a lot of the stigma on seeking mental health care. People are coming in more of a preventative way than they were before. Similar to healthcare, I would hope that people would maybe go to the doctor every year and get a checkup and say, how are things doing? How can I do better? Let's check and see how my cholesterol levels are and things like that. I think people are approaching mental health in a more similar way since COVID, where they're thinking, oh, my friend went to therapy, it helped them. This other person I know went to therapy, it helped them. So I think that there's less of a stigma. People are reaching out, they're looking more, they're getting online and finding us more. So a lot of our traffic comes from people who are actively searching and finding us. Other ways are just Instagram. Maybe people start following us for the little relationship tips and science-backed kind of skills that we teach on the Instagram. But then when they start realizing, you know what, I think I could benefit from going and talking to somebody, they might reach out then. So that question of when are we getting people? When it comes to marketing, there's all sorts of different strategies, like long-term strategies, short-term strategies. The short-term strategies are more aimed at finding people who are looking for it now, they're ready. Long-term strategies are engaging people who maybe one day they'll wake up and say, like, I think I want some help too.
So have you ever thought about charitably reaching out digitally through a podcast format to people to let them know what you do and what separates you?
It
doesn't seem like it's your first time.
Charitably reaching out. Help me understand that one more time.
Have you ever thought about doing your own podcast?
Oh.
And not getting paid for it to reach people? Most people that do podcasts don't get paid for it, like me. But have you ever thought about just trying to reach people that way through your social media, starting a format like that?
It's a good idea. I have thought about it. It seems intimidating.
Yeah. I'm intimidated by accounting. So what do you do for fun?
Accounting? Yes. What do I do for fun?
Yeah. Just so people can get to know you a little better. What do you do when you're not helping marriages come back together?
Yeah. I like to see live music. That's a big part of what I get a lot of joy out of. Music and live music and listening to music in my car, singing in the shower. And also dancing. I go to dance classes. I actually recently broke my foot. I broke my foot the week before last, so I can't do that very much anymore. But I really love doing active things. So it's been rough being injured. Being outside, doing active things, walks, hikes, bikes, all that Colorado stuff, road trips. Yeah, that's what I like to do. What about you? What do you like to do for fun?
Well, I like to get up at like 4:30, 5 in the morning and either lift. or if I'm not doing a lifting day, then I'm roping and hitting the bag. Or if it's a beautiful day and the sun's up and I'm up with the sun, then I go run like 6 or 7 miles. At my age is about as far as I can go. But I try to do one or the other every day or every other day, depending on how wrecked I am.
Wow.
But nobody's ever asked me that question. Thank you.
Of course.
I don't always ask people this question, but because you're in marriage counseling and a lot of people feel like their life has been a lot of people feel like practitioners in this realm haven't had the hard life that they've had. I am going to ask you this tougher question. Is there any hardships that have occurred in your life that made you stronger? What are they and how did they make you stronger? If you're willing to talk about them or it.
Yeah. Just like anyone in life, I've had hardships. I don't think that anyone gets out of life without hardships ever. Right? Like the Buddha said, he said, life is suffering. And it's not just suffering, but suffering is a part of life for every single human on the planet. Life is hard for all of us, right? So of course, I've been through my own series of heartbreaks. I've been just experienced pressure of intense academic environments and then building a business. I think that what is overcoming that look like, I think my dad always says, like, when you're going through hell, keep going. I think that's great advice. I think especially in our culture, we almost have this like rigid expectation that we should be happy all the time or not experience hardship. And not only is that not realistic, I think it's harmful because it can make us invalidate ourselves when we're feeling rough. Like we do have many things to be grateful for in this country. And in this day and age, even though there are tough things also about this country in this day and age. But for example, I never have to worry about where my next meal is coming from. But that doesn't mean that life isn't hard. And there are many pressures and expectations that I have to face every day that sometimes are tough. And I have to work really hard to be here and maintain my business. So yeah, I think that's as far as I'll go with it.
I'm sure it wasn't easy becoming a doctor. That's why most people don't do it. You don't have to tell us how.
Yeah, thank you. No, it was not easy. It was not a walk in the park. Nope.
So Dr. Tasha, what is the main takeaway that you would like for our listeners to take away from our interview with you today about Marriage Counseling Fort Collins? What separates you?
Yeah, what separates us, and this is why I built the business, is there's a lot of therapy out there that is incredible. And there are also some therapists out there in terms of couples therapy that they might not specialize in couples therapy or have advanced training in it, but they think, oh, it's therapy, right? So they have couples come in, and I've had some couples come to me and say that they're like, wow, this is so different than the therapy I've been to before. I think what it was before was just like vent sessions. I was just venting about this, and then I'd get validated by the therapist or something like that. So what I wanted to build for Fort Collins is a place where people could go and they could trust that they are getting most high quality care. Like there's a reason that people have spent decades of research creating these therapy methods that really do work, and they've done research on them. Like for example, emotionally focused therapy, EFT, it's got a 90% success rate in improving relationships. And I believe that if those methods exist, we should use them. People have worked hard to create them. They've done like rigorous scientific study on them. The training programs are rigorous and advanced. And so that is my goal with the practice. That is what I have done, is I've brought on people who have advanced training in those methods, or they get advanced training after coming to the team. And I consult with them regularly. So that's what sets us apart, is that you're coming and you're getting those high quality methods that come from decades of research.
Dr. Tasha, what are the best ways for people to find you online? Your website, social media, what do they put in the search bar, and a phone number if you give that out?
Yeah, our phone number is 970-335-9190. Our website is www.MarriageCounselingFortCollins.com. And our email is a little bit long and clunky, but it's heartofthematter@MarriageCounselingFortCollins.com. Our website is MarriageCounselingFortCollins.com, but our business is called Heart of the Matter Therapy. So that's why that might be confusing.
Well, Dr. Tasha, I really appreciate you being on our show, and we definitely wish you and Marriage Counseling Fort Collins the very best moving forward.
Thank you so much. I hope the same for you and your podcast, and what a fun thing that you're doing for local businesses.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpfortcollins.com. That's gnpfortcollins.com or call 970